We live on the chat groups. Hello, everyone. We will be starting shortly. We're going to have a couple wonderful guest speakers tuning in. We want to thank you for attending and joining. Can y'all hear me on there? Is anyone, can you hear me on can someone check just to see if the audio is kicking in? Testing, testing. 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 That's too loud. Testing. What you having? For the last speaker, I'm about to go. Waiting on the last speaker. So we in. Thank everyone for that's in. We're about to have a few phenomenal speakers. We're streaming live. This is the Good Fight and Moms of the Lost and Family. We're bringing awareness to childhood issues as well as fight against gun violence. So please tune in and make sure you're checking out for our wonderful speakers. We are streaming live, so YouTube and the chat groups at LinkedIn, and we will also be streaming live on TikTok. So thank you for those that are already in. We will be starting in about 5 minutes, maybe less than that. I'm gonna share it to my page. Sometimes streaming is better than in person. Hello, Bello. What's up? Look like you just jumped on the bed. I know. Okay. So we're streaming live. So we're on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and and the Facebook chat groups. Sorry. Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started. I want to thank everyone that's here. We are streaming live, so we are going to be on the platform. You will be able to share this with the links. So I want to thank everyone that's here. I want to thank all the guest speakers that are here. One of the guest speakers, they're on lockdown in Arlington County Detention Center. So if he's able to come, he will join, but they are on lockdown. And I think another guy, he may not be coming, but it's okay. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna have an activity as well. So it's a few folks in here just to address some of the childhood issues that we're going through now, as well as the fight against gun violence. My name is Demetria Goode. I'm the founder of the Good Fight, and I also have a company, Unfiltered, Unspoken, where we share actual life experiences of others going through similar situations. We also have Rhonda Kelsey. I don't know why she's standing over there, but okay. Come on up, Rhonda, please. So Rhonda, actually, she has a nonprofit as well. It's called Moms of the Lost and Family. She lost her son due to gun violence. She'll chat a little bit about that in a few minutes. So she's an advocate out here fighting against gun violence. So definitely she'll give you a little bit more information about that. So please check Rhonda out, and she'll give you. And she also has a book as well. And you probably didn't bring any of them. Okay, but she does. So you can reach out to her before we leave to get in touch with her about that. So Rhonda and I, we're going to give a brief introduction about ourselves and the things that we're doing. I'm not going to talk about the domestic violence piece of it. I'm actually going to talk about the my childhood trauma piece of it in the introduction. But you want to go first, and then I'll go next. Okay.
Hello, once again, my name is Rhonda Chelsea, and I am the founder of Moms of the Lawson Family. I also have a book on Amazon that's called The Streets or the System. I never thought it would be me. And it has 5 out of 5 stars on Amazon, so it is going so very well. I lost my son, Delonte Kelsey, at the age of 17. He was 4 days away from turning 18. He was killed April the 1st. His birthday is April the 5th, 2006. I also have another son that has been incarcerated due to carjacking. So that's why the book is called The Streets or the System. My goal is basically for all the moms to come together so we can take a stand, because the victim's siblings are going down the same road as their brother or sister or something like that. So it's not really much, because my book tells it all. But I asked to partner up with the Good Fight because I'm also a domestic violence survivor. So at the same time, we're doing this together, and there will be more events. We're going to have fashion shows, workshops. What's up with them?
Arts and academics for the kids. We're looking at
Car shows and things like that. So check out my book. Like I say, it's been sold on Amazon. It's called The Streets or the System. I never thought it would be me. It's not much. It's about $15, $11 to $15 on Amazon. And I hope you all enjoy what we have to offer today from this day forward.
And so, as I mentioned, going through my childhood trauma was not of domestic violence, but going back through the healing process, I wanted to look into my childhood traumas. And that's a big thing that I tell everyone is we go through a lot of things in our life, and we're fighting what we went through in our past. We want to address it. And I always tell people the biggest challenge is looking in the reflection in the mirror at yourself. We are our biggest challenges, accepting the traumas that we went through. So from 12 to 16, I was in and out of the system. And that was due to because I was looking for attention, going through childhood neglect, abuse, and so on and so on. And I am a product of molestation as well. So I had to go back and address all of those issues that I was suppressing and blacking out. So I love myself. I'm at the most peace that I have ever been in my life, addressing and dealing with everything that I went through. So at 12, I got locked up because my first time, my principal hit me with something, and I three-pieced him. So he pressed charges on me, and not knowing, you don't have a family that is into it, getting locked up is normal in the family, so you're just another bad child. But we have to look at our youth and our kids when they have changes and behavioral issues. There's a bigger issue. You can't look at the little girl and say she's a fast girl. It may be something going on if that little girl has changed, so you have to address it. You can't say the little boy is a bad boy. There are issues that they may be going through that you have to address. And this is coming from a personal, I only speak through life experiences of what I have went through. So that is what I can bring to you. And a child going through behavioral issues as a child, such as me, it was because of the traumas that I was going through as a child. So it's a lot of violence going on now with the youth. We want to address that. We used to have mentors as males. We don't really have that anymore. We had a lot of programs. We don't have that anymore. So even my brother Khalid right here, we're partnering together. I will be joining him in Potomac Yards. I have dedicated one Friday a month to go down there and give back to the youth. So I will collectively be helping with him. And we are fundraising for art supplies, and if you want to make a donation to our nonprofits, we do have 501c3s. So if you want to contribute to the cause, please do so. So we have everyone in the room now that has been through traumas. Our guest speakers, they have been through some form of trauma as a child. We have advocates, we have folks that have on hands dealt with youth. So they're going to give you a piece of their life experience so that you can understand some of the issues that the youth are going through and how we can come together as a unity and help our youth. So we will be gearing up. We'll have field trips, activities, movies, bowling. Khalid and I have talked about a few, taking the kids to the beach. So if anyone is interested, volunteers as well, please let us know. We would love to have, a greater resource system to help out with the youth. So I want to thank you for being here, and those that are online, I want to thank you for chiming in. So we have our first, is Thomas Sykes. He's an advocate. He'll chime in a little bit more. He also has a couple documentaries on Amazon. He'll tell you about that in a second. Thomas, during his youth days, was associated with gun violence. He served time in prison, and he is sober from an alcohol addiction of over 20 years. So he's been sober for over 200 and something days now. So I want to applaud Thomas for that. He has been on quite a few platforms sharing his life experience, and he has also been a guest on my podcast, Unfiltered Unspoken. So if you're on YouTube, please come subscribe to our podcast. His interview was phenomenal, so I want to welcome Thomas up to the mic.
How y'all doing? My name is Thomas Sykes. I was born and raised in Northwest DC. Single mom, spoiled child, had no reason to break no laws or do nothing wrong. I started selling drugs at like 12 because I wanted to, not because I had to. So I started selling drugs at 12, like I said, not because I wanted to, not because I had to, because I wanted to. So when I was 16, I told my buddies, a young lady came around and they were pregnant. So I told my buddies, don't serve her no drugs because she was pregnant. And that one left. She went and got another young lady to stab me. So then I come in the hospital the day later, a couple of days later, I run into the lady again. But how I ran into her, we sitting on the cars, and the lady said, get off of the car. But I wasn't on the car. So when the pregnant lady come out, she said, I know he was on the car. I know he had something smart to say. I said, go ahead. I already didn't let you get a pass for me. You just got me stabbed. Go ahead. She went and got her brother. Her brother comes out. I end up shooting her brother 17 times because I had stitches in my stomach from when I got stabbed, and my side was still open. So I had no way to defend myself. And I sent my buddy to get my gun, and I shot him. I ended up doing 7 years, from 16 to 23. I come back home at 23. I stayed home 3.5 years. I went back for a conspiracy. I ended up doing 10 years. Right now, next month I've been home 16 years.
Amen.
It's funny because my son right here, he only 13. He never heard of his stories. So I get teary-eyed because he mommy's dad. So I appreciate y'all bringing me here. Since I've been home, I made 2 movies that's on Amazon, Boss 1 and 2. And I actually starred both of them. I was drinking for 27 years. I stopped drinking like 8 months ago. So that's it.
Amen.
That's about it. Any questions?
We'll say the questions for last. Thomas, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Next I have Thomasina Ford. Don't be all the way, it'll come on up here. She's an advocate. Actually, Thomasina and I think we met online. You just came across the Good Fight, and she has been repping the Good Fight. I love you, like you, my sister. And this has brought so many wonderful relationships with so many people. It's just an honor. And what I'm going to tell people is, don't worry about your close friends or your family supporting you. It typically does not go like that. Your biggest support is going to come from people you do not know. Right. So you do not give up, and you continue to fight and serve the mission that you are doing. Do not get discouraged. Don't think about it, and you keep pushing, because the Good Fight is a testimony of meeting so many wonderful, beautiful people. So Thomasina is going to share her life experience of raising and parenting her child that is experiencing challenges now in her life, so that she's going to bring awareness to some of the issues of raising a son going through issues.
Hello, like she said, my name is Thomasina Ford. What I do is I talk to the youth a lot. It's just natural to me. It's a calling of mine, so it's nothing I get paid to do or I practice. What I want to say is I was a trouble teen, not because my mother didn't love me, they was on drugs and nothing like that. I come from a family of 5, and I was the baby. So my mom worked a lot, and my siblings, they were basically graduating from school. So the neighborhood basically raised me. So I picked up a lot of things in the street that my family, that we didn't do at home. So that brought on a chain of reactions. And what I'm doing here today is, it took a long time for me to learn self-control. I'm still learning self-control. Not to put my hands on people, not to hurt people with my words. And how I'm giving back to the community, my son, because, what you do at 20, you don't do at 40. We all know that, right? We grow up. So I'm redeeming myself like my mom did. It's nothing I can say about my mom, about her parenting. I seen my mom graduate from school, after having 5 kids, and she went back to college. My mom retired, went back to work, things like that. I want to do the same for my kids. So any mishaps I had when I was young, I redeemed myself. They seen me overcome a lot of things. So what I do is I talk to the youth about people loving you. If your family doesn't love you at home, and someone love you, a teacher, I tell them about affirmations to love themselves, especially our young Black boys. That's the biggest fight. My son, he hangs back where we from. You're used to your environment, so we always go back to that. And it's just not only him; it's his friends. We tell our kids that, one fight, all fight. When one fight, all fight, somebody get hurt, right? Then they get a teenager, and it becomes a problem. We help create that problem. So what I'm trying to do is learn resources to give them, encourage our youth, to stay focused, and have some foundation. Prayer take you a long way. So that's basically what I do. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Thomasina. So we did have Andre Buffington. He's a behavioral specialist. Arlington County Detention Center is on lockdown right now, so no one can move, and he's been chiming in with me. But if they let them off lockdown, he will be here. But as of now, they are still on lockdown, but he will be at another event, so he's definitely keeping contact. So from there, I'm gonna jump into, we're gonna do a quick group activity. We're gonna break everybody out into 4. And then after we finish the group activity, we're gonna write down some of the issues, and then we're gonna bring Bello up after that. So we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. We're separating everyone because we wanna, so folks are comfortable and what they're doing is confident, so that we make sure it's a fair distributing everything. So I'm gonna count 4, and then I'm gonna bring the activity to y'all. We have a table here, we have a table in here, we have a table out here, and then we can group up into chairs in here. So I'm gonna call out 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess 1 can go to the back table. If 2 wants to go to this table here, and then 3 and 4 can mix somewhere in here. So I guess you'll need to pick one person that's going to do the writing for you, and if that one person wants to come up and talk about the things that y'all wrote, they can, or you can delegate someone else to come. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Sorry, but I stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you say?
Where do you go? 2, go over here. Okay, here's the slip. I'm gonna bring y'all a pen. Who's 3? 3. Who's 3? 3. Who's 1 and a 2? I'm at 1.
Is this 2?
1.
What you mean by that?
And then 2. You can bring y'all a pen.
I don't know, is it the number that she gave us?
No, y'all in the group. 1, 2, 3,
1,
4.
2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Oh, that's how you doing it?
Yeah, that's right. It's 4 in each group.
Yeah. What number did I say?
2.
So, where's group 2? 2.
That's what they think.
2 is over here.
Boy, that's what so it's all the 2s.
Yeah, all the 2s.
You gotta tell them, they think it's
All the
all
2s are
group.
together. Okay, she didn't make it.
All the 1s together, all the 2s, all the 3s, all the 4s. So if you're 1, you're 2.
1 is over here, 2 is over here. Where's 3 at? 3 is over here.
I think 1 is in the back.
1 is back. 1 is over here. 1 is back here. 3 is over here. And 4 is over here. All right, turn around now, get engaged. Okay, we're gonna give y'all 20 minutes, and if y'all are finished before then we can go before then. But we're gonna give you 20 minutes. It's a 30-minute activity, and y'all may finish early, but what we're trying to do is see some of the issues that we have within the youth, so that we can start addressing them in workshops and other different activities that we'll be engaging in.
So how do you feel as the society is feeling?
You do, right?
So for me, God has to be about the foundation. So if the parents don't know how to respect the children in the home. Be responsible for that foundation. You see that a lot. So I'm like that, we have a foundation. Which the early foundation, you know, your childhood affects your adulthood. So when you have that foundation already in place, it'll be okay. So how do you think we can better access this back to the What would you say about, what would you say about? Young grandmothers, that's right, young grandmothers.
Everybody doing good? Make sure you get it. Everybody doing good?
Resilient.
Make sure you get it.
Be resilient. To get back up and, you just still keep moving. You just kind of bash your head and they feel like it's just like what you just said.
Tune in. We're having our youth program. We're on break. They're doing a workshop, so we will be sharing the results shortly. So just give us a few. Tune in. They're actually doing a work activity. So we will be giving results shortly. Very informative information, and we thank you for streaming in. It's hot. It ain't hot. I guess you want it. Ain't no.
So it's like people think that you just can't leave those.
Thank you everybody for tuning in, and I apologize. We were actually on a workshop live, and then we'll have things that will potentially help our the privacy, but please tune in about 10 minutes. We're going to come back with the results. We asked 2 questions. The question is how do you notify as well as how do you prevent child issues. We're going to use the results for further activities that we are going to have. So we are.
So we have to say that, which really is not helpful. Because when they become adult and they go to their own decision, they're gonna always pick up.
So we're going to make sure that we are gearing up. So make sure you please tune in. No. We're waiting for the results back from the workshop. This is what I said. We are having guest speakers. We're talking about like violence, progressive jail, something no more. This is an you can still running.
Okay, 3 more minutes, 3:20, and then we're gonna come back and give our results.
We'll go see her if I do. July. Her boo taking her out of town. I'm about to get me a boo to take me somewhere. Look, I'm about to get me a boo to take me to Port Valhalla too. A man chasing me. I couldn't go. Thank you. I see you can donate some of them. Stop. Don't go on the trip. That's all my calls. Jamaica, get them on my line. Plan them yet? Get them. Yeah, you better put that in someone. You better get them on my line.
I did. No, the church I love. You know the Sundays get more check. Yeah, the church. Oh, boy. You got one minute. It ain't no point. It's supposed to rain 5. And then again. Don't worry. When the good fight gets kicking, I'm gonna be tired. My best friend wants us on my board. My daughter is my secretary. I got 40%. She got 30%, and then my best friend's got 50%. I make sure they know how much. So if something ever happens, they ready. Okay, y'all ready? We can come back. I want to thank everyone that's here again for coming to support. This is our first, so it only gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so who would like to go first? You can volunteer, or we can pick a number. One? Who said one? Come on.
That makes sense.
You said one?
What do you want?
Look, everybody advocating for number one to come on up here and go first. All right, come on, one. Who's gonna be the writer for one? Because we want you to put your results up here, or I have to be forced to write. I don't want to. Who's gonna speak for number one and write? Whoever was at that table back there was two. You was at the table? Yeah, that was two. I think that was three. Two was back there. Oh, so that's one, my bad. 1, 2, 3, and 4 was in the back. So 1 is this table. All right, come on, 1. Oh, we do reverse.
How about all ones just go together? That way it's important.
Okay, come on, all ones, let's go.
The whole group.
1.
Let's go.
Come on, 1. You juggle 1. No, they were 1. Let's get it.
Don't block social media.
Okay, so we're gonna, our first question is, please don't fall. I ain't got no wish on so our first question is, and what we're gonna do is y'all gonna come up in groups because we're gonna do the first question and then we'll reverse it, we'll go back to 4. So 1 is gonna do the first question and then we come with the second question, then 4 can go first. So our first question is, how do you feel as though society is failing us?
One of our responses was lack of resources.
So, lack of resources. And if folks, if y'all, agree on the same, if you've written it twice, we're just gonna put a star on it, because that means that we need to really double check and look at that as well. So lack of resources.
And we were trying to answer the question from a child's point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if y'all have been through childhood traumas, this will be something that'll fit issues that you went through. So lack of resources, lack of awareness.
So with our lack of resources, we were talking about when our age group was growing up, we had summer jobs.
Yeah.
Like that, we had a summer job. And that was the hottest thing going when springtime came. Everybody wanted to apply for the summer job,
Mhm.
going into the summer, make a few dollars and do whatever you like to do. But nowadays, I know people who have had 5 or 6 kids, whose kids aren't even aware that there's a summer job program in existence. It still exists,
Mhm.
but there's no one putting it out there for us anymore. There's no one saying, okay, sign up for summer jobs here, there, and everywhere. You go down to 500 C Street was the place when I was growing up. Go down to 500 C Street and apply for your summer jobs, and the kids don't know anything about that, man. Everybody wants the Jordans, everybody wants the latest clothes and things like that.
Mhm.
And then you're looking to your parents to provide those things because you don't know that you can work yourself and get the very thing that you want for your parents to do.
So with the lack of resources, how do you think that we can bring awareness to the resources that they have out here now?
Those of us who know.
And how for those of us that know, how do we be advocates to get the message out? Like what methods will we use to get this message out?
All links to social media, marketing, social media, TikTok, Instagram, activity. Yeah. That's how you reach the kids. That's what they
And
want.
talk to the parents for one. Because the parents probably want their kids working just as much as anybody else.
But do you think sometimes the parents is an issue?
Oh,
Absolutely.
So that's another problem with the lack of resources because the parents aren't giving their kids the resources. So it's a bigger issue. Like we can give answers to everything, but if the parents aren't devoting their time to the kids, how do we help beyond the parents?
Social media, everybody's there.
Yeah, I agree that I say that you have to meet them where they are, but with respect. You have to meet the kids where they are. But again, the kids these days, they disrespected, but it starts from home.
Mm-hmm.
It starts from home. You have to meet them where they are because they're on autopilot. They are. These kids are on autopilot, and without the parents are younger and younger. Like I was telling, we were talking about, I suggested to my son, he's 34, that he have a house phone. Because these kids now, they give the teachers a Google number because they don't want to get in trouble. So get a house phone, and that way I know what my children doing because guess what? The teacher can get in touch with me. So just like I said, that falls under lack of resources.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we also have lack of awareness.
No.
Again, this gentleman mentioned parents not being aware of the summer youth programs that has been there like for years. I was one of those, but that I did the summer youth program.
Mm-hmm.
But parents don't know today. Parents are not looking for the resources.
I feel as though sometimes the parents are enabling the child. And it's not even about the resources. They're just enabling the kids and whole.
Yes.
They're not giving them that limit that, look, when you turn 18, you get out the house. Not like throwing them out the house, but saying, look, I did all that I can do. Now it's time for you to find yourself, little lamb, because that's what it is. When I was growing up, my grandmother told me, I never ever forget this. Do a dollar pig. Yeah, do a dollar pig because now you on your own. You decided that you wanted to have your son at 18, so guess what? You want to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help you as much as I can, but you'll want to take care of him.
But she made you accountable.
But she made me accountable, and that's where the problem fails at with our children, that we're not making them accountable.
Yeah.
They're not holding accountability for nothing. They break a dish in the house. Nobody knows who did it. You got the I don't know, I didn't do it. All of them got new names. I don't know, I didn't do it, and who did it because I didn't do it. So yeah, accountability code. It should be upheld. It really should be upheld. Kids don't know how to be truthful. You know, they figure, okay, if I tell one white little lie, that white little lie gonna turn into bigger lies because now you're teaching them how to lie. Tell your teacher that you were sick. No, tell your teacher that you were
I just
sick.
tell my kids that they get a, my kids will get a pass day. So I did get pass days, but lying, you will get in trouble. Yeah.
Yes, learn behavior. There you go.
Yeah. Number 2. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Number 2, let's go. Cause you miss MD.
Yeah, lack of money.
Lack of money.
You said no.
So as she finished writing, I have the microphone.
Educate.
Okay, you said education. Okay. It looks funny to me.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right, see y'all.
And then, which I think is one of the ones also scared parents.
Yeah.
And politics.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said the lack of money.
I'm sorry, microphone check. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we said lack of money because there's not enough resources in the household, or it's being spent other places, so it's not, being given to the household. Education piece, got a lot of high dropout rate, or youngins are just being passed along. I'm sure you all know someone that just went along. Scared parenting, the system, in my opinion, sets up the parents. They're afraid to discipline their children because officers will arrest you because they feel like, there's a difference between abuse and discipline. And I believe the children, I call the police. You can't hit me. And so parents are afraid. And y'all know Dr. Spock, that whole thing too. But the politics piece as well. We spoke of folks that are sitting in boardrooms talking about different things, and we're getting the leftovers of all the residual things that they talk about, and it's failing our people, our communities. And it's pretty much that. Sure.
Let me just add this. Politics is the foundation of all of this. A lot of people say it starts at home. No, it starts when you step foot on this continent. Economic oppression, redlining, lack of resources, all these things, and you put 5 pit bulls, hungry pit bulls in a room and feed them one steak, what they gonna do? They're gonna kill each other. You got parents who had kids while they were kids, and they wasn't educated as much either. Everybody ain't dropout, but what was really being taught in school. When you live in an environment where you'd be lucky if you make it to school and make it home. You're not in Mayberry, you know what I mean? You're walking along routes that you can easily get shot up and robbed. All these pressures that these kids have. And a lot of times I hear people blame a lot on the kids, and the kids not paying attention, or the kids not doing this. Look at what the kids got to deal with every single day. They got parents that don't even care about it. They care more about their boyfriend or whatever drug they using, or their girlfriend or whoever, not even paying attention to these rules and ways of the kids. Then all of a sudden the kid just shut down. She gonna stop talking. And it's gonna come out in a detrimental way.
So I think another thing, besides scared parents, parenting should be added on there too. So how the parents are parenting their child. So they're
putting someone before their kid.
Yeah, we had that.
Drugs.
Very nice.
And we needed more time. We had a good session back there.
Okay. I gave y'all 2 papers to write on.
But another thing too, in the community, like, as y'all can see some of these things, the economics is one of the things that affects us most because we out there scrambling to get money. All of us out here trying to do something for the community, trying to build, but we also got to pay our bills. We also got to feed, everybody's dealing with these pressures that we deal with every single day. Somebody can come up with a good idea and be like, yeah, you call him tomorrow, he doing a double shift. Bills got to get paid. And white folks don't care about that. Pay no bills. All this is a setup. Like I was telling him, they sit around table every day. Everything that's going on, they know we affected by it. Oh, but what about John? They getting this thing together, they don't have a community. Don't worry about it, we just raised the rent. Man, he doing a double shift. Economics. They know this. While we out working doing things, they already successful, they sit at around table. They know how everything works. So what we have to do, like I always say, and I tell Khalid, I say, instead of us trying to come up with all these solutions, why don't you just start the solution? Meaning that go out to the corner with the flyers yourself. Because if you do that, you're going to know the next step. But if we sit among each other and say, hey, we should start a such and such for the kids. We should do this. Well, I think we should have more police officers in the area. No. What about you, John and Bill? Y'all go out to the corner. The kids might not come out there, but they ain't going out there. They out there on the corner. That's the solution, is actually getting out there doing it. So economics is first. But us sitting back, understanding that these people sitting at the round table. So when you take that double shift at work and you're not home with your son, your grandson, or your nephew, they know this at the round table. We gotta work 2 shifts, we just raised the rent. It's real. So that's what I'm gonna say. We can always come up with things, but we actually, if you tell me right now, say, hey man, we should do a cookout on the weekend on the corner for the kids, or whatever, we should put that together. I don't want to hear that. What I want to do is come past and see you out there with a table and some water. Then I'm gonna add on. I'm gonna bring some bread. She's gonna bring some chicken. And then it's going. And this is how we gotta do things these days, because everybody coming up with solutions really don't work. They take them home with them, they get in the bed, and then the next morning they're doing a double shift. That's just how it goes, But and it's not against nobody that's doing that, because I know a lot of people doing a lot of great things. But we also need the support of everybody to come together to do that one thing. Instead of us doing 20 things, it's just one thing, because it's about economics and power. They know that, like I was talking to one of my friends today on DK, and I was telling him, I say, they know this, they sit at a round table, they know for a fact that if I give her $100,000 right now, when her and Khalid are gonna do something together, they'll be like, Khalid, I got $100,000. Like, shoot, my bill need to be paid. That's how they sit around the round table. They know this. They know this. They know that her and Khalid together, they can move bridges. $100,000 to them, giving to her, that ain't nothing for the control they have over us. The control they have over us, 100,000 ain't nothing. Get 100,000. Get them away from that. Now get away from that nigga. Like, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? And she's going to get what she wants, but the whole plan is for them to destroy this whole room, because if they two get together, then DK gonna get together, then she gonna get together, he gonna get together, then they lose the control. Guess what they do? They gonna have to pack their bags off and go back to Europe. You get what I'm saying? But as long as they sit at that round table and know my man right here got to do a double shift, they good. And that's all I'm saying.
Number 3. Let's keep it coming. I like this. And I do have an adult workshop like this. We had to come out, so that is coming soon. So I'll keep y'all informed with that as well. And if you have to flip the page, you can flip the page. More youth programs. more youth activities that will fall under programs. More school programs. More dialogue. More dialogue between parents and kids. School teaching more life skills. All right, tell us what y'all think.
Well, we put like more youth program on.
Sorry. I ain't even mic. Look, I'm sitting here holding the mic like I'm a rapper over here.
We put more youth programs because, like Gord spoke earlier, when we were young, we had the Maryberry program. But you had boys and girls clubs a lot of places. I stayed up Northwest, so we had number 10, we had number 11, number 9. You had a lot of activity out of these programs. And I don't see that today. You know, I don't see the YMCA in many places. I definitely don't see boys and girls clubs out here. Yeah, they're gone. And a lot of people, a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the athletes that are out there today, they attribute much of their success to Boys and Girls Club. Denzel Washington, you know, he talks about it all the time, and we don't have that. So what Scoop was talking about with the parents who aren't able to be there, the Boys and Girls Club provided the mentors. They provided, you know, activities. They provided, and it wasn't just basketball and football and basketball. I mean, basketball, boxing, and things like that. You had tutors in these programs. There was one I used to go to up on Irving Street, Columbia Heights. It was beneath the church. And they had tutors in there. They had about 3 or 4 or 5 tutors in there. And so when you don't have that in the community, when you don't have people willing to help the youth, then you lack what was earlier said, education. You lack that mentorship. You lack that family unit, because it takes a tribe. You know, every father can't be there every second of the day. Every mother can't be there. Every aunt, every grandmother. So without these programs, the community is being fractured. And the school programs, you know, my brother Tafi, he said that in the schools, they don't teach life skills.
That's right.
You know, we're taught a lie with regard to social studies. Okay, Columbus discovered America. We know that's a lie today.
Right.
But we're taught that every year. To this day, they teach the same thing. They still minimize the tragedies that the Native American went through. They tell a lie about what we went through. So you're lying to us. But in telling those lies, you minimize our power. You know, you don't tell us that on our continent there was a lot of peace. We say we're kings and queens, you know, but you had farmers and, you know, had people that built huts and hunters. We just had a family unit, a tribe unit. We loved ourselves. We loved earth. You know, the Indian didn't kill all the buffalo. He killed 1 or 2 for the tribe, skinned them, ate them, wore 1 or 2 furs, you know, for everybody. Man, they came and killed all the buffalo. So you're not telling the truth. So our kids are growing up with a lack of understanding about who they are, who we are as a community, and who everyone else is. Not just that, you tell everybody go to college. That's it. Nah, trades. Someone does the electricity.
That's right.
We need that. We need someone to do HVAC. You know, I was incarcerated and I have an HVAC trade because my brother is the one that was teaching HVAC. I'm like, man, come and get your HVAC. And I got it. So the job I had now is a tribute to that HVAC, you know. Taxes. I still don't know about taxes. I mean, I'm learning. I know they got TurboTax, and I know Credit Karma helps a little bit. But I go to my uncle or my older cousin who knows about, he has a tax company. When I came home, and it's not just me having come home after 25 years, it's people that have been here on the street
they still don't know how to fill out tax forms. We don't know in the long run about a house. I want to learn how to buy a home. So I hear about different programs, but they're not teaching our kids credit. I didn't know how wonderful credit was. My brother asked me about 3 years. He said, "What is your credit?" You know what I'm saying? My cousin, So my brother asked me, he said, "Man, what's your credit like?" I was like, 713. He said, "What?" He said, "Man, you ain't gotta go get no car with no cash. You go get that car tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, how you do that?" I said, "I gotta pay for it." He said, "No, with the credit." And he explained it to me. He explained, no one else did. So we have to teach our children the value of credit, but in our community, children have phone bills in their names and they're not even selling. So they credit shot. And I know some kids that grew up and they say that, "Man, my credit bad," because people use their names.
That's right.
And so they have a hard time cleaning up credit. You have adults that have no credit. They're living in the projects all their life. And so they're still struggling with how to fix, things that are essential to other people, and we don't even know the importance of it. So, so that's why we say that. So we need schools to teach life skills, and they let our kids down, and they continue to let them down.
So I'm gonna chime in on that really quick.
But how are we holding the parents accountable? What skills are the parents teaching the kids? Because we should be teaching our kids credits and life experience. If we didn't learn it from our parents and we're in the field and we have credit now, we should be teaching our kids how to have a debit card. My 12-year-old has a debit card, So it's a lot of essentials that we skip, that we put more pressure on the schools, but we don't put pressure on ourselves. I was a parent, I would take a pay cut to make sure that I'm able to get to my kids' school. And my kids will tell you, every teacher knew me by name, even if they weren't my child's teacher. "How Miss Good, how you doing?" I would roll up on my kids. So it's like a lot of parents aren't in tune with their kids to teaching a lot of the products that we need in life, but we blame the school system. It's not the school system's job is to teach our kids, but it's our job to make sure that they have the essential pieces in life, because schools is not going to teach them everything. So it's, where does the parent take accountability to?
So my perspective is that I think that parents just don't parent like they supposed to.
Great.
I think that, we basically as parents, we leave too much up to other people to teach our kids, and it's not their responsibility. I believe that the reason why they don't teach your kids credit in schools, and the reason why they don't teach your kids life skills in schools, because the people that they want to know about that stuff learn that stuff at the dinner table. When they talking over dinner, they learn that stuff from the time they're babies. They learn about investments, they learn about credit, they learn about taxes, because they talk about it at the dinner table. So therefore, we don't talk about that stuff. We talk about frequently. We talk about, no, seriously, we talk about BBLs. We talk about things that have no value, zero value to our children. And I don't have any kids. I have a little nephew that is like my son. I treat him just like my son, and I tell him he's my little insurance policy. Because I know that everything that I put in him is going to come back to me tenfold.
That's right.
So I always try to and just pour everything into him, because I know that it's just like an investment. And keeping parents, especially Black parents, we don't look at our kids as investments. We look at them sometimes as burdens. And I really feel like that's very, very, very sad. And one thing I don't like, as a Black man, I don't really agree with like putting your kids out at a certain age. The reason why I don't agree with that is because when you put them out at a certain age, they had no finances, they had no career, they have no life skills, they have none of that. And you know what? Every other culture keeps their kids until they're able to go on and do what they want to do.
I agree.
Every single other culture, Chinese people. I was in an Uber the other day, and I asked the guy, I was in a real estate agent, so I was like, "Hey, you trying to buy a house?" He was like, no, not right now. We live with, I said, "How many generations are living in your house right now?" He said, 5. I said, "How many people live in your house?" He said, 14. And they
And-
love each other, and they get along.
But not even loving each other, they help each other pay their cars off, they help each other pay their houses off. That doesn't come through the school system,
Exactly.
that comes from the family. And not to be funny, the Black culture is one of the worst, and this is what I've been watching. We could let someone move with us, they're not gonna pay rent, we're gonna be in there fighting, we're gonna be in there beefing. We can't even help each other get a job because we scared that someone's gonna mess our credibility up for not coming to work or doing something stupid. So a lot of us want to support, but we can't support because we scared somebody going to damage our name and the reputation that we have built. But not only that, a lot of how many families sit down and eat dinner at the table together or pray together? I mean, in my household, we do. We cook. My daughter can cook now. Dinner will be done on the table because I taught her how to cook. She gets in there, she probably almost cook better than me now. But the dinner's made. We praying over our meals. So it's a lot of essential skills that we're not giving to our kids, but we quick to blame someone else. And if you look at any other culture, their kids has a savings account. By the time they turn 18, they got 6 figures in their bank account. Their college is paid for. They have programs where you could pay for their college on payment plans before your child even get there. And almost every person that I have worked with in corporate America in the upper level, their kids are financially straight before they even turn 18. And we can't even put $1 aside to our kids because it's always materialistic stuff.
And a lot of times, just a quick tip, a lot of times the reason why those young kids in other cultures are straight and financially inept when they get a certain age is because when they're 14 and 15 years old, their parents don't put electric bills in their name and don't pay them. They put credit, they add them on as authorized users on their credit cards. So when they get 18, they already have an 800 credit score. You know what I mean? So they can go out and get a job making $1,000 a month and pay a $400 a car payment on a nice car. You say, well, how is that boy 18 with that nice car? It's because his parents set him up that way. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works, So I think we have to start taking lessons from people that are doing better than us in society. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we're looking at the wrong people. I always say sometimes, you want to do right, you got to do right sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We got our own thing, but sometimes their methods are what's working.
Totally different.
Because they made like he said, they sitting around the round table. You know what I mean? So we got to follow their lead. We got to figure out what they doing right. That's what we don't want to do. We don't want to do what they doing, but they the ones winning. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Jordan shooting 1,000 jump shots, and I'm over here running layups. He's making, we got to do what he's doing, because that's what's working,
But I think the scary thing in the Black community is when we hurt each other is because we don't want to teach each other. We want to keep all the knowledge to ourselves, and we don't want to help the next person. That's why anyone that works with the platform of the Good Fight, we always connect resources to help others. I don't care what it is. And the biggest issue that I've run to in this business is people not wanting to share resources because they're so scared that you're going to go past them. But not that you're going to pass them, they know you're going to pass them, and you have that drive, that ego. But what people don't realize is you helped me, you're a part of my success, you're a part of my life. You could sit back and say, I helped that girl, I'm a part of her contribution to life. But a lot of us don't even look at it like that. We just so scared that the next person is going to do better than us that we will hurt our own. And eventually you won't get hurt in the process too, because karma is something else. So and for everyone in the room, if you have resources and you can help someone, and especially if you got it for free, why not help someone? Why not give them the resources? That's how we're going to grow. And that's what every culture does besides the Black community, is we hurt each other really bad. So.
And I also think that's systematic. You know what I mean? I really think that's created by design, so that we cannot look at each other. It started in slavery. They was moving men around, and then, when they started with welfare and stuff, they wouldn't let you live in the house with your family and all that kind of stuff. So it's made by design,
All right, we're gonna jump to number 4. Did you want to say anything? You've been so quiet. You the youth, so you know.
No, but most of this stuff he came up with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's
So,
up.
yeah.
Number 4. School system again. It seems like the school was one of the biggest problems. Programs such as boys, clubs, racks, free programs. Mental health. That's a good one. That's the biggest issue.
Early foundation.
Early foundation.
We decided holding the parents and the kids accountable.
Holding kids accountable. And the parents.
Interacting positively with the kids.
Interacting with the kids. And we're going to do this a little bit, because we went a little over, but. Okay, who's going to speak? And we'll give you the mic.
He likes to talk.
We said school system, but y'all basically touched on it about the school system. But it is supposed to start from home though.
Yeah. That's the early foundation.
Yeah, early foundation. Then I was explaining to them, I got 4 sons, so I was in his life all the time. And I was in jail on my other kids, so I see the difference in my sons and how they move. Like, years ago I've been around him, he laid back, he do everything right. My older kids do just what society want them to do because I wasn't around. So as men gotta be more accountable too. Though. I mean, that's the way I say it.
It's the truth though.
Yeah. So we can't sit around and say these females, but because the females can't teach their kids, I mean, their boys with the because my son, he always would, he tell his mother, nah, drop me off, you know, my father. So you gotta take it to my advantage and teach him what I didn't do. So that's why he moved the way he moved.
Let's have a good day.
Okay, so, hi, everyone. The reason why early foundations was mentioned is because the first 7 years of a child's life is super important. And if we don't get them then, planting those seeds then, it's gonna be a challenge for them as they move on. So as parents, we need to start, that's where we need to start at, to get them prepared and preparing them for life, such as that credit and going to college, if that's what they want to do, or go to trade school. It's up to us to prepare them. So I think, excuse me, my opinion, we should start with the parents. Educating them and getting them on the right path so that we can pass it down to the babies. Okay, here you go.
Because there's nothing wrong. My daughter is homeschooled, so you know we've taken a different measure, and so it's a lot of techniques that you can do with your child.
Oh, and with these kids now, there's a lot of parents that's trying to push their kid outside. Like, get off that game, go outside.
Yeah.
If you go outside, you will learn what's outside.
Yeah.
But if you just know school and game,
then maybe you got a chance to make it.
Agreed. But I also tell people that sometimes it's not always with the home. Sometimes it's peer pressure. We can teach our kids a lot of things at home, but when they go out into society, and especially if they're dealing with a child that's already broken down and going through those issues, if our children are followers and, you know, certain social skills, peer pressure can become a part of them as well. So everything that we have taught them can go out the door. So for any parent that is having a child that's having behavioral issues and you've done everything at home, peer pressure is real too. So you have to address those pieces of it and educate your child about peer pressure so that they can avoid peer pressure, because peer pressure is real as well. So
I want to piggyback off of that a little bit. As far as the parents holding accountability, I was saying in our group, you know, not just going to my kids' games as they was coming up. I was at the practices. A lot of times you see the parents, the mother leave the child at the field with nothing to drink, and then the coach. You see how the coach bring all the kids to practice. You know, a lot of times I was there through the whole thing. You know, practice with my kids every day of the week, and I suffered financially. But the thing about that is, at the end, you know, they were raised in church and things like that, and we know what the saying is about that. No matter how far you go out there, you're gonna come back, right? So that means I have done everything as parents, and we have these resources for the parents, and they can deal with their issues and be able to redeem themselves, like I was saying before. That when it comes back for what, you know, come back, that they know that they have done the parent. I have done everything that I can. I mean, I have done everything I could do for my children. You know, I didn't fail them versus a parent that's not there. You know what I'm saying? So we get resources for the parents, more resources, and we fellowship like we was talking, all of us, you know, connecting and things like that. I think that will make a difference in our community.
Because you got really break down the consequences to these kids, the consequences, because they don't think there's no consequences. Like they could get locked up 3 or 4 times for something petty. But when they do something else, it's a guideline they fell under now. So you gotta explain these consequences to them too.
Exactly. My daughter might have laughed, but she'll tell you. One time we got into it, and the police was called. She was younger, but my daughter will tell you, don't play with my mother. And she was like, when my mother hit me, and the police officer looked at her. He said, "Do you have any bruises on you? Did she hit you?" He was like, "No." He was like, "You kids deserve to be disciplined. And as long as your mother don't put no bruises or hit you in your face or do anything to you, there's nothing we can do about it. And as a matter of fact, if I come back again, I'm gonna lock you up." That's what we told her. So it's how you interact with police officers and how you discipline your kids and what you use to discipline your kids. Because long as you're not abusing them and putting bruises all up over them, you can't discipline your child. So.
But Reverend Green, I heard your story. It was awesome when you said how long he was like being incarcerated and stuff like that. The kids need to hear that too, because they also think that it's also you either going to jail or you dead. I just told my son today, they're not gonna wipe you. They're not gonna wash you up, because you might not die. You might not go to jail. You might have to sit here and suffer with your consequences. So you telling your story, Tom telling his story, it's gonna help, you know, help our youth, not just the boys, it's gonna help all of us. Adults too, you know, some of us adults are still like kids. How many agree with that? Okay, I just told you how long it took for me to redeem myself, so just keep that in mind. We try to stay connected, stay in the community. Everybody feeling great? Everybody doing great? This is nice, thank you.
Thank you. So I'm gonna call up Bello, and Bello has Bello Burns hot sauce. Bello is the originator of creating the initials for DMV, if y'all did not know that. He is the CEO and founder of Bello Burn Hot Sauce. He's a local rapper artist. He was shot by DC police at the age of 18. He will share his life experience of the street life, incarceration, and how it changed him to be a better person. It's your DMV day.
We know you look familiar.
Don't tell nobody. How y'all doing, man? A lot of powerful stories. We ain't no sound man in here. A lot of powerful stories in here. You know, sitting back, just listening, and just looking at people. You just never know what they've seen in their life. You never know what they've been through in their life. And a lot of times, we just walk by people. Right? We don't even speak these days. We just walk by. You know, we don't want to let no opening. But some things that I heard just made me think of something that I read not too long ago. It's going to shock you that the black man is more involved in his kid's life than his white and Hispanic counterparts. This was a study done by CDC and CNN. We got to stop feeding to the myths. We think, oh, the black man is the black man that. No, go read the report. Black men, not only do they help their kids more with homework, they prepare meals more than their white and Hispanic counterparts. They take kids to activities more than their white and Hispanic counterparts. So where are we getting this false information? And as far as the parents teaching the kids, they can't teach them finances if they have always been broke. They never learned themselves. This thing goes way back, man, way before us. This goes back to when chitlins came into play, right? You wasn't allowed to eat the creme de la creme. You wasn't allowed to eat the steak. They had to slip the pig down the middle and gave you the scraps. And some people still enjoy it to this day. They don't even know where it came from. This is stuff, this educational stuff. Me, I grew up angry. My father was serving life for murder. My mother was an alcoholic, drug addict, 6 and that's where I'm from. My grandfather was the anchor of my family, my mother's father. And my grandparents on my father's side was the other anchor on 13th Street Uptown. I grew up mad because I ain't had a Bo Jacksons and the Nintendos and, you know, all that type of stuff. So I kept all my anger inside. My nickname was Hard Rock, right? Because I kept it inside. And every time it came out wrong. I would get in trouble. I was known for having a bad attitude, but nobody ever sat down and said, wow, what's going on with you, man? Oh, what's going on with me? My father down Lorton, right? When they had graduations, and so I was in a spelling bee. I was smart as hell, but just mad. My father wasn't there. I see kids with their father, it affected me. My mother, she was stuck out. It affected me. Why do I gotta go there with my grandparents? My grandmother didn't have no money. She was getting a welfare check for me. I started stealing. I would go to Giant, Woody's, the old Woody's, the old Hex. I'm 47. I would go down there and steal. Got locked up, 12 years old, sitting in the car, never gonna figure it out. I was still in school, never dropped out. Love school. I love learning. But I wanted to eat too. So I was out there, fast forward, I started robbing. I graduated from stealing to robbing. And one night, in 1994, after we stole a car, we went on a joyride to Baltimore, stole a car from Heaven's Mall, drove up Baltimore, drove back down. I went in the house, we was living on D Street Southeast. And I went in the house and these friends that I just met came back to the house and was like, hey man, some dude up at Eddie's Carryout, Southern Avenue, and got some money. But here's something y'all got to start thinking about looking for, searching for, that divorce. Sometimes that divorce will tell you something. You're going to hear it without a doubt. But whether or not you listen to it, it's going to be a whole other story. I heard that voice. I never felt this way anytime I was robbing everything. I never felt any apprehension then before that night. Bone Thugs and Harmony had just came out in 1994. Right? It was my favorite rapper. We was driving up there, listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm trying to psych myself up, right? But I kept hearing them forward. I disregarded. I'm uneasy. I'm standing outside of Eddie's Carryout. Lady come out, man come out. Two friends, one in the carryout, one with me. I got the gun. I never let no woman or person go in their pockets. I do the digging because I don't know what they got. But this particular time, I didn't do it. Lady went in her purse, boom, shot. Straight through the purse. I was shocked. I ran around the side of Eddie's, dropped the gun, made it to the middle of Marlboro Pike. Now, this is 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm dressed in all black. I went all black at all times. Don't make me gangster, so it's like that. The dude she was with ran over to me while I'm laying in the middle of Marlboro Pike. Now, mind you, this is 1 o'clock in the morning. No car came down Marlboro. How many of y'all been in Marlboro Pike before? You're not busy there, right? Not one car came down. Man came over there, he looked around, he looked at me, he said, give me my money. I said, I ain't got your money. And he shot me again in the chest. Paul Frank stood over me. I blacked out. When I woke up and came to, I couldn't open my eyes, but there was some people around me. And they kept saying, let him die. He shouldn't have been out here robbing people. These people ain't know why I was robbing. They ain't know that ain't got fell. They just said, let him die, scrape him off the earth because he's worthless, right? I got sentenced to 20 years. I had a charge in D.C. I got sentenced to 20 years total. I had to go to 7 different institutions. I went from MCTC up in Marlboro. I went down, I had a drug charge in D.C. They gave me a youth fight. I went down to U1, CTF. And when I got in that cell, I said, I got to change. Something got to change. Because see, the change comes from you, not anybody else. That's right. I started writing. I went to Duke Ellison School of the Arts for visual arts. I graduated, that's when I got shot. I always been a talented artist. When I came home, I said, I ain't going back to the street. I'm gonna start rapping. That's what I did. And I created the DMV back in the early 2000s when nobody believed in it. That's what you hear on the radio now. When the meteorologists say DMV, they don't even know where it came from. I've been on the covers of newspapers, Washington City papers, Washington Times, Washington Post. I ain't stopped there. I became the top OSHA safety inspector in the region. You talk about HVAC? Yeah. I'm a teacher. I just came from Ohio yesterday from my OSHA 511 class. I didn't stop there. I made the best hot sauce in the DMV with my face on it. Right? But that don't mean that I don't go through the struggle and don't think back to those days when I was a kid carrying a gun. So I sympathize with the kids because a lot of people always say what they shouldn't do. He doing this wrong, or she doing this wrong, or they doing this wrong. But they don't teach them how to do it right. These kids have emotions just like we do. They get mad, they cry, they get upset because they feel like nobody understands. And then when we get older, we act like we never been there. That's the problem. You act like you ain't never sneak out your mother's house, go get you some, you know what. Like you ain't sneak out the back door and go see your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You ain't smoke a little weed. You ain't drink a little drink, or you like something like the people that get up there and act like they never smoke crack. Tell somebody else, but not to do. I guess the system don't like me. I'm almost done. That's one of the problems we face. We become hypocritical. Never judge a book by its cover. I can walk through the hood the same way I can walk through a corporate office right now. To a Roman, you become a Roman. I can speak slang or I can get highly intelligent. And that's what we should be teaching our kids is how to, we call it in the rap game, we call it shape shifting. You gotta know how to shift shapes, man. You gotta know how to be versatile. I created the whole DMV music movement. I'm friends with some of the biggest names y'all know. Wale's, Trails, Killer Cow. One of my households named after Killer Cow. Killer Switch. Red Asses, I know all the go-go guys, they all know me. and they all respect my ground, and they all know where I came from. I got a book coming out, I got a movie I'm working on called Wounded Alive. It's titled on it. And that means that you are wounded. You went through something. I don't care how old you are. But you're still alive, right? And you made it through. See, one thing I'm gonna say that's gonna be done. You never sweep your experiences under the rug. People will tell you, man, you gotta start talking about that, man. It's in the past. It's never in the past. This is a testimony. This is your written testimony, your verbal testimony, because somebody going through the same thing you went through, and you went through, and everybody in this room, I don't care what it is. There's somebody out there right now getting ready to go through what I went through. They're getting ready to get shot. They're going to live, and they're going to go straight to jail. They're going to have to recover in jail, just like I did with a mattress just then. They're going to have to learn how to walk again and talk again like I did. I wear this hole on my neck proudly, trach, life support. That's why you should never sweep it under the rug. You gotta be sensitive. You can't think of yourself more highly than you ought to think. And that don't mean you're not gonna get mad. I almost slapped the hell out of somebody yesterday. On a plane. Improper plane etiquette. When people cut my car off, I love my Corvette, man. That's my baby. I get mad. So it's not to say you're not gonna get mad. I just told them in the Roman group too that you got to have the characteristics of God. What's God's characteristics? He get angry. He has mercy. He has grace. If he did, we wouldn't be standing here. You gotta think about it like that. Right? You gotta humble yourself. We all human. But last but not least, man, y'all keep y'all stories going. And if you want to try this hot sauce, I'm gonna be here for a little while longer, but I gotta go on the road. If you want to try it, everybody in this room, what I'm gonna do is you have all of this contact information and stuff.
I'm gonna get it, and I need everyone. I got to sign in sheet back.
I'm gonna send y'all a free bottle, all right, on the house.
And if you don't,
I got to bring the chicken. There's some fruit back there. You put on fruit, start a new trend.
I'm still waiting on my free hot sauce. I ain't got it yet.
Follow me on 20 Bello, 20BELLO Instagram. All right, and be warned, if you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram page is crazy. I get millions of views because I talk a lot of stupid stuff, but that's how you draw them in. You can't draw them in preaching. You got to draw them in with what they know, and then you jab them every now and again with what they need to know. All right, y'all. Thank y'all, man.
Thank you, my love. Okay, I'm gonna switch it. I gotta switch up because Khalid has to leave in a few. So I'm gonna bring up Khalid Kareem, who's a youth advocate. Mr. Kareem is a youth advocate who partners with Potomac Yards youth and surrounding area to engage in arts and academics to keep our youth out of the street. He has spoken at correctional facilities, been involved in many projects involving the youth, and a soon documentary coming out soon. And he's going to talk about his childhood and incarceration of 25 years.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming. Having a good time. I have to send a special shout out to my man DK and Goode Sons all the way up from Newport News, man. He has his own organization, Not My Child, and a phenomenal story as well. I'll be down there with him in about 2 weeks. My man Scoop, my brother Roy, my cousin Hassan, my brother Tafi, I do have some family that support, and I'm grateful, Born and raised in DC, Southeast, but I've stayed in a lot of other areas. I've stayed in Northwest of town, Euclid Street, Clifton. Stayed in Arlington for a second. I stayed in Maryland, Calvert County. I stayed in St. Croix, the Virgin Islands for a year with my father. And getting up to that point, it was, my father was in the Nation of Islam. Him and my mother got a divorce when we were real little, so I don't really remember that relationship. But after that, he got married again. And in between that, we moved a lot of places. I went to like 15 different schools by the time I was 14. My mother, my biological mother, she drank a lot. So we stayed with my father, we stayed with her, we stayed with my father, we stayed with her. She was a good woman, she taught, she was knowledgeable, but as we spoke earlier about parents, she didn't practice what she preached. And so she was on welfare as long as I can remember, so we didn't have a lot. My father, he was a good man, but he had a little anger inside, so he got married again. We had other siblings, and then that turned into a divorce. It seemed like after that, everything went down. We had a plot of land in Calvert County, and we had some family members that used to bring weed and whatnot to the land, so planted marijuana throughout the land, and the police came one day, raided the land. We weren't there, but when we got back, my father packed up and left. Called us, told us to pack up, and told us to come on, and my cousin, he actually came and got us, and we went to his house. And so when we went to his house, for 3 days, my father was plotting on leaving America, because he didn't know what it was going to be like. He was like, we had about 200 weed playing. I don't know, they're going to lock me up forever. I'm going to the Virgin Islands. So we walked to a Rite Aid in Suitland, Maryland, and he was like, now, Don, you can stay with the family, or you can go with me. I don't want to be alone, but it is what it is. And I felt a little guilty leaving him by himself, so I went with him. That was hard enough because I'm leaving my entire family behind. So we left, get down to St. Croix, went to 2 different places. The story's too long. He got on crack down there. I'm like, how they got crack in the Virgin Islands? So we down there for about a year, an entire year. And I had some good time. I swam a lot. I had a couple of friends, but every week he would tell me to go and borrow money from the minister of the nation, like $20. He said, tell him you need some food and all that. I'm thinking, nah, I climb a mango tree. I'm all right, but I don't tell him no, so I went, I would do that. And I would watch him smoking crack. Like one time he made a crack pipe in my face, which was like, he took a Mitchum deodorant top, and he's talking to me about, going back home, coming back up here. He took an ink pen and he melted it and put it in there, and he put a aluminum foil on the top and wrapped the poke holes in it, and then put the rock in there and a little ash on top, and he's smoking it. So yeah, when we go back home, we're gonna start a business, Kareem and Sons, and I'm looking at him, and he's sweating more and more, and in my mind, I'm angry, but I'm like, man, you smoking crack, so we did that, and if it weren't, we were supposed to come back up. My older cousin, called my father and said he was going to Egypt. He wanted to go, and he wanted my father to babysit his kids. So my father said, I'll save the money. He saved $300 and spent it 2 days before he got the plane ticket. But it weren't for my cousin sending the tickets, and he probably still be in St. Croix. So he sent it to a friend of his, and we came back home. Father turned himself in, did a few months, and crack was everywhere. So I moved with my mother uptown. She doesn't leave the house. My older brother's back in South Beach, so I'm with my younger brother, the one I'm here. So I'm getting in trouble. I was doing good in school. I like school, but I hooked a lot after leaving the 6th grade. I went to Shaw Junior High. So 6th grade, 7th, I'm wild a little more. 8th, I'm fighting every day. And then the 9th, I'm just out there. I'm out there selling drugs, stolen cars, whatever. I get locked up a couple times in detention out in Arlington for stolen cars and burglary tools. I did 5 months, I did 8 months, and then I turned around. Someone spoke earlier about tutors and the need for tutors. I didn't go back to school because I felt ignorant when I'm in class. I didn't want to raise my hand because they're 5 chapters ahead of me. So I started leaving school to hook it more because the teacher wouldn't always explain that. I had to go down, I don't know, she's like, all right, well, one of the girls will help me. And so it was like a brush off. So I kind of just started leaving school. I got good grades. My last report card was like 3 A's and 2 B's in the C in conduct. I went to Cadoza High School for 5 days, and I was in the street, just running. I got locked up, came home, and my mother had taken my baby brother and my other brother to Chicago. Didn't tell nobody. Just took my brothers. I'm in juvie. I'm like, with mine, so that, she come back. She got mental issues. There's a lot to it. So I get locked up. I get life in 10 for a murder charge. I do 25 years. Come home 2 months before I get home. My mama dead. My grandmother dead. My grandfather, my aunts, family galore. But I've been home. So 4 days in, I get a job and work. I go back to the detention center that I got locked up in. landmark detention like 2-3 times. I actually took my younger brother with me, spoke to the youth, been doing that since. I went to landmark about 3 times. I went to DC juvenile detention about one time. I went to Maryland New Beginnings once. I'm in Potomac Gardens project on Southeast Capitol Hill area once a week, twice a week. We just left there earlier, and school can tell you, my brother Roy can tell you, the kids, as soon as I get out the car, they run out. I've been committed to the youngest, man. You know, I love the youngest, man. And it's like, you know, you grow a personal bond with them.
Right.
So it's like 20 of them, 30 of them. You know, tomorrow I'm actually going to pick up a sister down at Woodbridge because she's a licensed barber, and a lot of the youngest heads is messed up. I asked her, if I get you, you know, you come out, you pay, cut these youngest heads. She said, I got you. So tomorrow morning, me and Scoop going down there, Potomac Mills, grab her, bring her up, and let her cut hair all day. I've written 2 poetry books. One is on Goode, one is on Amazon. I co-wrote or co-authored a Return Citizen magazine that's on Amazon as well with a sister named Sandra Wilson, CEO Black Connections, working on another Return Citizen magazine. I've spoken at a lot of events. Like I said, DK had an event, Stop the Violence, second annual event down in Newport News, and he allowed me to be on the panel, you know what I'm saying? I'm going down in 2 weeks, speaking of juvenile detention in Newport News with Catchable Kids. I'm a part of that. I have my own nonprofit, Lessons Learned. That's my goal, man. That's my aim, you know, the brother said, is to tell my story because there's so much going on in prison. My childhood alone was something. But 25 years in prison, and people that have been locked up can attest to it. I know guys that have been raped. I know dudes that have died. Since I've been home, my man Pac-Man, he did 7 years in Richmond, Virginia. He went home for 5, 6 years, 3 daughters, loved them, came in, told Brother Khalid, I didn't do it. Stayed there for a year, trying to write people, trying to find. He says, another Pac-Man, I know he did it. I'm writing him in the feds. I left, I made parole. A month after I made parole, he hung himself in Ottawa. You know, another partner of mine named P raised Allen Iverson. His son just killed himself in Greensville 7 months ago. Me and Roy and P were like this, we stepped each other's sails. You know what I'm saying? So the stories I tell the youngers ain't, oh, you gonna get raped. That happened. But what you gotta worry about is when you get in there, you come home, your daughter might be calling somebody else pop. You know, yeah, you might not have a mother. We know, man. COVID done took a lot of people. So imagine people doing time. Man, my grandfather died since I've been home. My cousin Skinny, Uncle Pee Wee, my Uncle Wayne, my favorite uncle died. I talked to him on a Monday. This was last man 6 months ago. I talked to him on a Monday here in West Virginia in OD. A month after that, my cousin Karita OD on Minnesota Avenue in Ben Road. You know, so the pain I have, I use as fuel because I see the future, and it's ugly. Except you got us. You got people like us, right? And so it's beauty for the youngest that know us. It's beauty. We gonna take them to the park. One of the mothers in Potomac Gardens, Miss Courtney and Miss Danielle, we did take 17 kids, just me and Courtney, to see Black Panther 2. With my own money, I asked for donations, and my cousin Rassan sent me some money. You know, I got support if I need it. You know, I don't ask for a lot, but if people tell me get out of that, you know, but I don't, you know, everybody asks for money, so I don't want to take from the people, but for the kids, I'm gonna start asking.
That's right.
I'm gonna start asking. I'm gonna say something now. Listen.
That's right.
Listen, nah, real talk. This ain't even for me, but it's for the kids, man. You got cash out.
That's right.
You got a good fight. I'm telling you, before you leave, I'm asking you for the kids. You got $10 to send Cookie because she's gonna stop coming to Potomac Gardens. I send 50. When she put it on Facebook, I'm the first to send the money. I don't practice with, I don't preach. You know what I'm saying? I preach and then I practice. So I'm the first.
And what I do, go straight to Walmart.
And then show pictures of what she bought. So it's not for nothing else.
Yep.
You know, it's not for anything else. What we do is for the kids, man. If you look on my page, you see me over there with the kids, I take my nieces and nephews. I take like 8 nieces and nephews to Potomac Gardens. They had a murder over there, an OD over there, another shooting, another murder, all within the last 6 months. But I love the kids enough to bring my family over there because I'm willing to put myself in jeopardy. But I trust God will watch out for us. Yes. So I say all that to say that I'm glad to have met all of you all. I don't like going to events and leaving without having heard everybody, but like I say, we're working on an interview. And one of the ladies for a program called CASA DC Bridges We set up an interview already for a certain time, so we gotta get her, but she's coming from like Woodbridge, so, for that, I apologize. But, I look to see you all again, I look to be in touch with you all. Like I said, I'm on social media, it's all about the kids to me. You know, real talk, so if you're working with the youth, and I can come and help, even if it's setting up tables, I'm gonna do it. I don't need the mic, I don't need the line, I don't need none of that, I do stuff for free. I ain't got $1 from being over Potomac Gardens in 3 years. Matter of fact, I'm going broke messing with the youngsters. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm right with you. You
Yes,
all right?
yes, we're gonna take them to the zoo, that's one of the desires. Like you said, we're gonna take them to a park, there's one up here called Corsica Park. It's nice, we took about 10 of the kids last year. But this year I want to take about 20 of them. I want to take them, just get them out the hood, man. It's ugly. You know, it's ugly. There's rats. The trash cans got rats, and there's no protection. There's nothing blocking them, and they literally are playing hide and seek among the dumpsters, man. You know, and they need to get out that environment. They need to get exposed to youth. They need something to aspire to. So again, I thank you all. I thank my family, you know, for coming. UK and the sons, like I say, that's a father, man. You understand me? Brother, that's a father. His sons are with him. They are father, not my child. My man Roy takes nephew everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he can nephew come. You know what I mean? His son named after us. You know what I'm saying? So that's the bond that I got with people, man. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate your stories. Like I said, I hope you get your information, and I definitely see you all again soon.
Yeah, so if we have anyone that wants to volunteer to some of the work that we're doing, and as I said, make contributions to the activities and the Good Fight Cash App, it's GOODEFIGHT. So it's the Good Fight with the E and the Good. Next, we're gonna call up, I'm sorry, there's a couple folks have to go, so we want to get them in real quick so we can shorten them. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan has many business talents. He's a master barber, realtor. He also has life experience of enculturation in early childhood. He's an advocate to help youth and bring awareness and educate the life and how the streets can hurt you. And Jonathan, if you want to think about cutting hair down the garden too, we can sync up. Kareem, Khalid, we have another master barber in here too, so maybe we can connect so he can help come down. He said he will come down into the youth. So, yeah, let's sync that up and link up with that. Okay.
Good evening.
Oh,
it's a pleasure being here. You know, I'm honored to be a part of this program and this activism. I'm very, very pleased to be here. You know, I have to go soon, so I really will be quick. But I grew up, you know, it's crazy because, you know, most of y'all grew up in the city, you know, close to the city. I didn't grow up in the city. I grew up in the country. And it's crazy that you can grow up in so far, you know, like the city. I grew up in St. Mary's County, and y'all grew up in the city, but so many of the stories resonate with me so much, you know. I didn't grow up with rats and stuff, but I was 18 years old before we got running water. So I grew up my whole childhood with no running water. We used to have to go to a water tower and fill jugs up to flush the toilet, you know. So I know how I feel the struggle. You know, I grew up, I was the youngest. My mom had 8 kids, my dad had 8 kids, and then they had me together. You know, I'm a product of infidelity. You know, my dad cheated on his wife with my mom and had me. You know, growing up as a kid, you know, it's very difficult to deal with. And my dad never accepted me as a son. You know, he wouldn't even speak to me when he see me in public. But my mom, until from the day I was born until I was 12 years old, my mom still cooked for him and had him over to our house and catered to him. So that caused me to resent my mom. You know, so basically, you know, as I grew up, you know, I really didn't have a relationship with my mom or my dad. And I came here to say, like, you know, I've been in prison. I used to rob drug dealers. I was 16 when I left my mom's home. I never went back. You know, I've been on my own since I was 16 years old. I've been to prison, you know what I mean? But I came here to say that I'm not a victim. I'm victorious. Because I made up in my mind that I wasn't gonna be my father's, my mom's mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So I purposed in my heart that I was gonna be bigger than that. You know, I purposed in my heart that I was gonna be, you know, I wanted to be an example. You know, I wanted to be somebody that, you know, I could have been a crackhead. You know, I know a lot of people that grew up like me that's sitting in the front of the liquor store every day. They smoke crack every day. You know, I know people that, you know, and you know, I know people that have killed themselves, you know, because of the things that I've been through in life. I've seen my dad molest my sisters. He slept in the bed with them. My dad shot my brother 5 times, you know. So I say I never grew up in the city, but I know how it feels to grow up in hardship. But you know, I got out of prison. I started working at the barbershop, and I was working there for about 1.5 years. And then my uncle, he's very sophisticated man. He retired from the military, so I hadn't talked to him in 10 years because like I knew the life I lived. I didn't want to go around him, you know. So finally, I was working at the barbershop and stuff. I came home from prison. I was doing the right stuff, and he just popped up at the barbershop, and he was like, you know, come take a ride with me, you know, we'll talk to you. Whatever. So he was like, Jonathan, you know, what do you want to do with your life? Like, I don't want money to be an issue. Like, I want you to be successful in life. So, you know, you hear people say that, you know, and whatever, you know, I want you to be successful in life, whatever, you know, he's going to give me a speech. So I went home and thought about it, and I said, well, I really do want to go to barber school. So I called my uncle, and I know he got a daughter in college and stuff. I was like, can you just go up and help me? Like, I said, I want to go to barber school, and I want to know if you can help me, like, through the process. So he was like, sure. So we go up to the barber school, and my uncle said, do you really want to do this? And I said, yeah. So he wrote a check out for my entire.
That's all right. That's all right.
He wrote a check out for my entire tuition. And then he told me I had to pay him back, and which I did pay him back every dime because I wanted to be a man, you know, so I paid him back, but he told me to pay it forward. He told me to do what I did for you for someone else. And so that's why I'm here. You know, I'm here because I want to show that even though you start somewhere, you don't have to finish there. You know, it's not the way you start, it's the way you finish. And the race is not given to the strong or to the swift, but to the one that endures. You gotta keep moving forward, and you gotta want it. You know, there's a story about this rich man and a young boy, and he wanted to figure out how this man was getting his millions and getting his money. So the man said, if you want to know how I'm successful, he said, I want you to meet me at the beach at 4:00 tomorrow morning. So the boy was like, meet me at the beach, 4:00 tomorrow morning. What are you talking about? So he said, okay, I'll be there. So he got there. So the man said, I want you to come out here in the water. So the boy went out to the water and he got up to by his knees. He said, I want you to come further. And then he said, man, he come up to his waist. So then he said, Father. So then he get up there and he get up to his shoulders. So then the man, he looked at the man like, how is this going to teach me how to be successful? So then he said, come further. So then he's up to his mouth. So then he said, a little bit further. So when he got up to his head, the man pushed his head down in the water, and he pushed his head down in the water, and the boy trying to get up and everything, and the man got his head down. And then way before he passed out, the man let him up. And the man told him, he said, what did you want to do when you was under the water? And the boy said, breathe. And he said, when you want success as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be succeeding in life. You gotta want it as much as you want life in your body. You know, you gotta want it more than you want to breathe. You gotta want it, because when you want to breathe, you don't think about nothing else. All you're thinking about is your next breath. And that's how you gotta align your goals. And you gotta be focused on them like your life depends on it. You know, that's all I want to say. And the last thing I want to say is that when we are born, we look like our parents. And when we die, we look like our decisions. You know? So you know, that's where it's lived by.
Thank you. All right, we have our last guest speaker, Miss Emily Miles Davis. She's retired law enforcement, and she's the founder of TFC Great Aid Joy. Have a good one, Jonathan. Thank you. Miss MD worked with law enforcement for 30 plus years in DC in various schools in the DMV. Her nonprofit caters to youth and seniors. She highlights safety and being proactive. Come on, Miss MD.
So, I was a little choked up by everything that was shared today. My biggest thing is one, being proactive, teaching folks what's lacking, but also I'm still messed up. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's it. I'm very private. This is big. I'm a retired police officer, but I'm private because people stereotype police officers. And I want people to know that every officer is different. I was officer friendly, which is lacking. And so I go back and I try to share with newer officers coming up that most are being recruited from other cities and states. And so maybe they have not been exposed to our people. And so they don't realize that we talk aggressively or with our hands and these motions and things of that nature. And so it could come off a different way to a different type of people that are policing. But then when I share it with some folks, the different things that we've been seeing on the news, the shootings, the killings of different officers killing our people. Don't take this the wrong way. Some of those things, we're putting ourselves in some of those different situations. You know, I get it. You want to say what it is you need to say, and, you know, but then we're being disrespectful. And then if these officers, these different people haven't been trained or taught properly, then they're going to go to their first thing, which is their weapons. And then, yeah, we can bring up the Ben Crumps and all these other folks, and our family will get all this money, but our loved ones are gone. So we got to be proactive. We got to write the letters. We have to vote. That's what we talked about in our session group 2. We are the ones that are putting these different people in place, that are making these laws. They're jacking us up in most instances. Overall, we just got to each one teach one. Let's be better. Let's spread more peace and love. It's hard, but we got to get out in the trenches. We got to do the hard work, no matter what. And everybody's voice is important. We all have something to share, something to say, something that can help. And no one's no bigger than someone else. You know, that's one thing. That ego is jacking a lot of us up. My tagline on everything is peace, because Lord knows we need it. We need more peace, more love, and we've really got to pray. You know, a lot of people say, man, you don't pray or whatever. We got to pray. That's the only thing I really believe is going to help what's happening. Again, I thank you all so much for sharing the different things you've shared. My nonprofit, Time for Change, Great Joy, I'm available to come and speak, help, do whatever it is you need. And I use my own resources, but so we definitely need money. All of y'all on the web, anybody listening, we need your resources. We need your assistance. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, we're putting a lot of time and effort into this, and I know for me, for anyone that knows me in the room knows, very active on social media. I put a lot out there. I work over 100 hours a week to, make these accomplishments to do the things that I'm doing. And if you are on YouTube, please check our podcast out. It's Unfiltered, Unspoken Podcast. We share actual life experiences of others to help others going through similar situations. And we have some phenomenal interviews that will touch your soul. So definitely, if you're on YouTube, please come subscribe to our podcast. And also, you can follow me. I have business cards on the back of the brochure, and there are some goodie bags. So please make sure you take one. Come follow us on social media, The Good Fight, TheGoodFight. I have an LLC page, but I also have a page, a public group where folks do come in and share resources and books and everything. So please come. And if you want to come follow me personally, I'm Demetria, Demetria. Last name Goode, Goode. I'm very raw on my social media. I share a lot of stuff, especially with the life experiences. So anyone following me will tell you want to get an experience almost every day from me. So definitely please come out and support. We want to thank everyone that came out today, shared their life experiences, to give more resources. And as I said, this is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we ask, next time we have some stuff, I'm gonna come follow y'all, send you emails, I'll add you to our list. So next time we have some stuff, if you can spread the message, share the word to others. We are live streamed, so this will be on YouTube and a couple other platforms. So the speakers out here, you definitely can share this with some of your folks to spread the word. Rhonda, thank you. We're going to be partnering together on a lot of stuff. Me and Miss MD is going to be partnered. Thomas, we already on the books, and definitely you'll have to check out his podcast interview. It's one you don't want to miss. Khalid Kareem, you're going to see a lot of him. We definitely partner. We're actually working on a lot of things that we're going to be implementing soon. We're going to bring Rhonda in, Miss MD, a couple other folks. So we want to make this as big as we can to come out and support and help the youth. But not only that, is we want you to realize that you have to go back to your childhood traumas in order to start the healing process. And a lot of people are missing that piece of it because you want to avoid it or ignore it. But in order to start the journey to the healing, you cannot avoid it. You cannot ignore it. You're going to have to face it. So thank you, everyone, for coming. I do have T-shirts and tumblers and stuff, and I do sell sterling silver bracelets with the beads on it. They're all purple because they go towards the domestic violence. And if you don't know my background, my ex-husband brutally beat and stabbed me 6 times 10 years ago. So me sharing my life experience started the platform of the Good Fight. So we're going to continue to fight. The fight's not over. We're going to continue to spread the message. The message is going to be spread. And we're going to continue to help as many folks as we can. If I can touch one, which we've touched a lot, so I'm thankful. Thank you, Jesus. So, we out here, and, please come support us. And thank you for coming today. We are honored. It is a pleasure. Thank you, and more thanks to our guest speakers. And then if y'all need to reach out to me so that I can share with anyone, please reach out to me. Don't be afraid. You're probably going to get an email from me in the next couple of days so that you have the information so we can all stay connected. I mean, any feedback? Do y'all think this was good? Do you think this was informative?
Yes.
Very different. All right, thank you. Really appreciate it. It's unfiltered, unspoken podcast. Yeah, so I actually started. No, I'm okay. Oh,
When she told me about it, I said, oh my God, drugs need to be packed because everybody is running package one way or the other. And it takes a community, you know, that we should resource and we need to support everybody because it takes. All right, and this is Samuel.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was a wonderful event and stay tuned next time.